After lap number 2, we saw Mike Brown pull in. We didn't know what was wrong, whether it was him or his bike. Well, we found out it's your collarbone, and at this point, Mike, you don't know if it's broken, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's my collarbone. It's the top of my, I guess, where it joined into my shoulder, and got a big knot there. I don't know really. Dr. Butter looked at it, and says it's a bad bruise, or it could be cracked.
And that happened from a rock.
Yeah, I could see it coming. I was thinking, I better move, but the time I thought that, it was already hit me, you know, but... Yeah, it was big, probably the biggest rock I've ever been hit with. You know, it was second lap, I think I was behind Gosler, going up one of the hills, and, you know, I looked up, and here it came the big rock. It was pretty big.
So what do you have on here supporting it? I see it's sticking up.
Just a piece of foam, you know, to pad it, because it's got a pretty big knot on it, and maybe if the rock hits it, won't hurt as bad.
Their mode's leaking too.
Well, I wish him the best of luck as we take a look at our Honda starting grid. Stewart, Hepler, Brown, Walker, Tedesco, Millsaps, all there, as is Danny Smith, who had a great run. And the rest of the crew. Greg Schnell also in this running of the Moto number 2 at Delmont. So, Davey, let's talk about the rocks here. Yeah, normally at Steel City, they aren't known for their rocks, but is that a common occurrence?
No, but you know what? It's motocross, and sometimes it happens. And I've seen some big rocks out there. Broke my foot on one a couple years ago, so sorry about that for Mike Brown. The cart is sideways, and this time it looks like another factory. No, it's
the Kawasaki
it's
again.
Tedesco. Ivan Tedesco coming around the outside, and it looks like everyone got through cleanly that time.
No pileups in the first left-hand turn. Ivan Tedesco with the best jump. You can see his mechanic on the line just jumping up and down, but he has relinquished that lead.
It's Chris Gosler. Check out Mike Brown. Looks like he's off to a great start, shoulder problem and all. So it's Gosler, Tedesco, and then Mike Brown, 1, 2, and 3 early in the second moto.
You got to give Mike a lot of credit because I'm sure that's extremely painful, and in the position he'll be riding, he's going to put a lot of pressure on that area.
There's no doubt in that. A lot of jumps here at Steel City, a lot of harsh landings. And check out coming down that hill. Look at all the ruts and braking bumps. You see Stewart sweeping out on the outside, going to try and inside out on Walker and Adams there. And Troy Adams also off to a good start. And that's tough for that guy. He's 6'1", about 185 pounds, not on a factory bike.
Bubba started out in 6th, has quickly moved his way up through the pack. We'll see how quickly he assaults to the front of this 125 Moto number 2. There's 259 dropping in, made a gear change right there. Looks like he's got the debris off his boot. So Bubba now sits in 4th place.
I wonder if Fox has a specialist for that. Someone come over and get the debris off the boot.
Oh, there's a Kawasaki down. I didn't get it. Was that Tedesco?
That was Tedesco. Looked like he may have cased that jump and went down. Tedesco throws away 2nd place, so now Gosler is your leader. Brownie a little outside there, and just like that, Stewart make one mistake. There goes Stewart. So he's gone from about 10th to 2nd in half a lap.
So Gosler in 1st, and here's the pileup.
Oh, there's Hepler now. Hepler's involved, and Nick Avenue caught up. So this is the after effect of Tedesco going down. You see Ryan Mills get caught up in it. There's Chris Whitcraft. Oh, what a bad break for Tedesco and Hepler.
Well, Brock Hepler just lost his balance, had nowhere to go. That front wheel just stuck in there. Keep an eye on Hepler and see how he can move up to the pack. Meanwhile, 122 is Matt Walker coming through. You remember he told Jamie Little he wanted to run with Bubba for a few laps. Well, looks like he's got his opportunity right here. Mike Brown just ahead of him in 3rd.
Yeah, but he's gonna, if you're gonna run with Bubba on a track like this, you got to be ahead of him at the start of the race. So unless Walker can put in some amazing laps here, it's going to be tough to get up there with Bubba. And here he comes on the inside. It's really slick right there. They watered between motos, and you see a little bit of dust, a little bit of glare. Brownie trying to hold off Walker.
Remember Mike Brown, number 3, on board the Yamaha, having problems with that shoulder. It looks like he yields up right there. Comes in, tries a little block, and Walker takes exception to that.
And there goes Brownie right back. Got into the loam on the inside. You know, it looked to me like he couldn't jump that double up there, so maybe that shoulder is still bothering him.
Meanwhile, we were watching the battle between Walker and Brown. 259, James Bubba Stewart has moved into 1st place ahead of Chris Gosler. So just like that, in less than a lap, Bubba goes from what? 7th, 8th place to 1st.
You know, I'm thinking this might be the first national of the year where Bubba was not leading the first lap in either moto. Of course, he picked up the lead about 100 yards after the end of the first lap. Here's an empty Tedesco. That's a big double there. He came down fine, but check it out. Both wheels washed out. I thought he cased it, but instead he got in that loose stuff after they watered. And then he had his bikes pointed the wrong way, trying to get back up. You see guys going by. Not a good place to be parked on the racetrack on the landing of a big double like that.
So after a great result in Moto number 1, Ivan Tedesco finds his problems on the first lap here, Moto number 2. Meanwhile, Mike Brown, number 3, is able to hold off Walker, and this is the battle for third. Brownie currently sitting in third, and Walker trying to take it away.
A great ride for Mike Brown, but check it out. His teammate Kelly Smith, Yamaha Troy Boost Mobile, is pulling into the pits there. May have had a crash or something.
Meanwhile, Ricky Carmichael giving some advice to Frankie. That's Chris Gosler's mechanic, telling him exactly what to put on the board as his rider comes around. Of course, Chris Gosler's dad, Mike Gosler, is Ricky's mechanic, and there it is. Podium, no excuse. That's coming from RC.
See him give Bubba the little, you know, get up and go, or the shocker, whatever you call that.
The Hessian salute, and he gives him a little word of encouragement as he goes by, but Chris Gosler's been riding fantastic today.
Mike Brown continues to impress me. You know, as Jamie said at the top of the show, not riding for Yamaha Troy apparently next year, so he doesn't have to be out there riding if he's in that much pain. Right now, he's holding on to a podium position himself. Walker not able to get as close as he was the last lap and try that pass. Walker's a tough guy to, or rather Brown is a tough guy to pass. Walker's a really aggressive guy.
But if you're a sponsor, you love that, and as soon as we say that, Matt Walker goes endo.
Wow. I think he missed a gear, or maybe over-revved on that. A bike cut out. I mean, he went front end right into that jump. We'll try and check it out when we come back.
It probably started.
Back to Steel City, presented by Subway, Delmont, Pennsylvania. This is Moto number 2 of the 125 class, and Mike Brown has got to get the Ironman award. This is the battle for second place as he moves up on Chris Gosler, number 35 on the Honda.
Well, I'm curious to see if Walker got back up, because after that crash, that would be an Ironman too. And right here, they're coming back to the spot where Walker crashed on the last lap. You see him get over successfully, and so Mike Brown makes the pass on Gosler. So now, sore shoulder and all, he is running second, and you cannot even see James Stewart in the picture.
But if you're a sponsor, Davey, and you see this guy getting this out, you got to be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, Mike Brown is giving it all he's got. You know, he's a veteran. He knows that his time in the sport is limited. All these guys' time in the sport is limited. Every chance you can be out there, even whether you're racing for trophies or titles or not, getting your name out there, being up front, being on ESPN2, in the magazines, whatever, that's what counts. That's what makes a true professional. Giving it, never pulling out of a race unless your bike won't go.
That's the kind of stuff that gets you on the cover of Racer X magazine, kids. Mike Brown currently running in second. Chris Gosler runs in third, and your leader, James Bubba Stewart, going for the record today. But Mike Brown, sore shoulder and all, this is the best I've seen him ride in a long time.
Yeah, it is. He's riding really well. And you know what? Give Little Goose some credit, too.
Yeah.
He's riding well. And there, Walker did get back up.
Oh, my.
He's back at 20th, unfortunately.
And Brock Hepler is right behind him, so there's a surprise to see Walker and Hepler 20th and 21st, respectively. We'll revisit that injury or that accident by Matt Walker, but what do you think went wrong here? I mean, you've seen a lot of this on I'm Amateur Day.
Well, he came off, either his back wheel spiral right there, you see, he was spinning a little bit, his front end dipped down, he augured in, straight over, and then he gets up, gets to the bike, and that's when his troubles just begin.
Four-stroke fever kicks in, and he gets past. On the accident, only 2 or 3 riders go by him, which would have put him in 7th or 8th, but he goes back to 20th. This is the battle between Paul Carpenter, number 48, and Mr. Hahn, number 776. That's Tommy Hahn.
Yeah, and there he is, America. Take a good look at the next hot young thing. Thomas Hahn, Factory Connection Honda rider, won a title down at Loretta Lynn's last month, and now he's making his pro debut, and he's racing with a guy. The same week he was at Loretta Lynn's, Paul Carpenter was on the podium at Washougal.
Paul Burt Carpenter in 5th place right now. Tommy Hahn currently running in 776, sporting the Napoleon Dynamite Dew. And right now he is riding very well. You talk about the next great thing, and at the top of the show, there are so many great young riders between 16 and 18 right now, Davey. Take your pick.
Sure they are, but you know what? Tommy Hahn's got good jumping technique. Watch him in Supercross when it starts next January. He will be good indoors.
Let's quickly send it down to the track and find out what's going on with Sean Ulikowski.
Sean, you're wrenching for Tommy Hahn as his pro debut. The kid's pretty amazing.
Yeah, he is. He told me he just wanted to finish, and he's on the line, actually, this moto. He says, I feel good, I'm going to do good, and he's proving it right now. So the kid's pretty good.
I know he was really nervous before Moto 1. How is he feeling going into Moto 2?
Every time he goes out on the track, it's better and better. Practice was a little rough yesterday. He won his qualifier today, and he's doing awesome right now. Hopefully he can hold on.
Good kid. Only rider out there from Kansas.
Of course, Tommy Hahn got 12th in the first moto, so he's already achieved his goal of finishing, and now he's looking for a top 5 ride.
And he's given Paul Carpenter everything. Carpenter currently trying to hold off Hahn, and here comes Hahn to the inside. Paul will swing back around, but the line favors Tommy Hahn.
Nice move there. You can pass people all day long on the inside of that off-camber. You just got to trust your tires and get through the corner quickly, and Hahn makes a pass on a veteran like Carpenter. Pretty impressive.
Look how he sets him up early.
Yeah, he goes outside in the previous corner, squares it off, stays on the gas. Right there, you can see Paulie getting on the brakes. Hahn just slides in. He's got the inside line, sets him up perfectly for the next corner. It's a real nice move there. Again, something you'd put in the playbook if you had one for Steel City.
This is the battle for 10th. That's Metcalf right there on board the KTM number 123.
Hepler's moved up pretty quickly from the last time we saw him at 20th.
What's the future hold for him, number 123, Brett Metcalf?
Well, he's going to ride for Yamaha Troy, and you know what? It's a good move for him because they've got that new YZ125. It's about 10 pounds lighter. They want to get a good guy on it, and you know what? Metcalf is an excellent two-stroke rider, kind of like Brandon Jessman in that regard, although right now, right now he gets parked by Brock Hepler, and I think he just ran him out of real estate there. That wasn't really a takeout. Fortunately, Metcalf was able to get right back up, but
wow.
Check this out.
That's some Pennsylvania loam here.
I mean, Metcalf knows he's coming. He's looked back twice, and there you see Brock come on the inside, slides out just a little bit. I don't think they even touch, but he just gets out over that soft berm, like you said, the Pennsylvania loam, and down goes Metcalf.
Well, Brock Hepler getting a little favorable hometown treatment there. He knew the right line. Meanwhile, back to our leader. This is 259, James Bubba Stewart, running the heinous corpus. And I'll tell you right now, he looks like the angel of death to the rest of the field because he is absolutely running away with this thing.
Looks just fantastic.
We'll step aside, take a break. When we come back, the conclusion of Moto 2.
Hey, there are two ways to look at skincare. The girl's way or the
Kawasaki Nationals at Steel City. They are presented by Subway. Todd Harris along with Davey Coombs as we come down to the waning moments of this Moto number 2 in the 125 class.
Wow, look at Hepler scrubbing some speed there, trying to get around his teammate, Davey Millsaps. He continues to move forward. You see him take the far edge of that jump. That's a locals line. Get out there with a jump is smaller, and Hepler continues to move up.
Brock Hepler moves up to 8th place. Davey Millsap slides back to 9th. Meanwhile, Ivan Tedesco, the man who really triggered all of these problems for these other guys, not that Ivan did it on purpose, but when he went down, it was really a chain effect that took down Brock Hepler.
Yeah, and you see Hepler moving up, and you know, it's tough whenever you have your local race like Brock's going through. It's like whether we go to Redbud for LaRocco or you go to Hangtown for Steve Lamson. There's media appearances, and everyone wants tickets and pit passes, so Brock Hepler doing a good job of focusing and really getting the job done here, even after the collision with Ivan Tedesco and Nick Evenew at the beginning of the moto.
Brock Hepler was sitting in 21st place, has now moved up considerably, and you saw the sign being put out by Ricky Carmichael for Chris Gosler. Nothing short of podium today. Everyone wants to get on the podium here at Steel City.
Now you see, check it out, Paul Carpenter used the exact same line on the rookie Tommy Hahn to get back around him. See that Carpenter's a quick learner.
Well, Paul might be a hillbilly from upstate New York, but he's not stupid. He may have been born at night, but he wasn't born last night. So Paul Carpenter turns the tables on Tommy Hahn and now starts to move away from him.
I think Hahn looks like he's getting a little ragged, maybe a little tired. Again, this is his first time ever riding 2:35-minute motos at this pace. 12th, he acquitted himself well in the first moto. 12th place, a good ride. Now he's running in the top 10. You can see he's surrounded by veterans because coming up behind him is now Danny Smith. And I think that might be Kelly Smith, who is a lap down.
Wow. Look who you'll see just sitting out there. Is he posing for a beefcake calendar or what? There's Travis Pastrana just taking in the sights.
Travis lives about 4 hours down the road in Annapolis. And oh, now you see Troy Adams battling with Gosler. Adams goes around the outside, and this is pretty much a battle for the podium.
This is the battle for the podium. Troy Adams currently has the edge on Gosler, and we talked about it moments ago. Ricky Carmichael putting out the word podium, nothing short. So Chris Gosler has the pressure not only from his mechanic and his dad, but from Ricky Carmichael.
You know, Troy Adams has gotten better in each of the last 4 nationals, and he's never been on the podium outdoors, although once at the U.S. Open, he finished in the 125 class on the podium, so just a fantastic ride. Speaking of fantastic.
IHB, I have no idea what that is, but we want to give a congratulations out to Jeremy Albrecht and his wife Jackie, their new son Trevor, and I hear the new nickname is already T-Bone. So they've got a J-Bone and a T-Bone running with a Bubba.
Well, James Stewart is so far out front, it looks like he's going to do this last lap one-handed. We haven't seen that in a while.
Well, he's running the Carey Hart replica helmet and the all-black gear, and he is putting on a show today. Meanwhile, we got great racing behind us. It's the battle for 5th, and once again, it is Hepler moving up on Carpenter.
The same place. Just as I say, Carpenter learned a lesson there. He gets passed again, this time by Brock Hepler.
Oh, my.
Nice big whip by Bubba.
White flag is out. This is the final lap. If you couldn't already tell from the way Bubba's riding, as Davey pointed out, it could be all one-handed, it could be all show, but Stewart is going to do a masterful job of milking this last lap.
And of course, this will mark his 27th career AMA 125 National Motocross win. That puts him 1 ahead of Ricky Carmichael, 2 ahead of Mark Barnett. And you know what? That record may never be broken by a guy on a 125, because Stewart, the last of the great Tiddler racers, for lack of a better word, that's what Pingree would go, oh, a heel clicker. Oh my God, Cameron Steele would be so upset. Big whip by Bubba, but James Stewart, kind of the last of the 2-stroke 125 breed. Mike Brown, wow, survives for second, although he's got Troy Adams kind of sneaking up on him, but here it is, James Stewart riding into the history books again, only this time is the all-time greatest winner of 125 Nationals.
Your winner in Pennsylvania, James Bubba Stewart. And now when he says he's the greatest 125 rider of all time, he can back it up. So as we take a look at our Suzuki final results, it is Stewart, Brown, Adams, Gosler slides to 5th, and Hepler and Carpenter in 6th. Let's check in with Jamie Little.
Well, coming into today's race, I'm sure there was no doubt James Stewart was going to break the record, 27 125 wins. How does it feel to be the winningest 125 rider ever?
Dude, it's so awesome, you know, to break Ricky. I'm the best ever on the 125. I'm the best ever. I can now say I got Supercross outdoors. I broke every record there's to break. And, you know, for after you guys don't know, we got a little secret. That was the last time I'm ever going to ride a 125. I'm riding a 4-stroke at Glen Helen. So last time I ever rode a 125, so I rode around the last like 7 laps. I was just so excited.
I want to know this other secret, too. What's IHB, International Heartbreaker?
I have beat it, baby. Nah, I have beat it. You know, I didn't want to say it. You know, I didn't want to say anything until I broke the record, but, you know, I done got it now. You guys don't even understand. This means more to me than any other championships I ever won, so I'm in the record books now.
As we take a look at the Suzuki overall, it's Stewart going 1-1, then Hepler gets the 3 and 5 for the second, and Troy Adams in third.
Rock, a little bit different start for you. What happened?
Yeah, I just got a slow start, and then there was a few pileups. One I got collected in, and I pretty much started last, but I had all the hometown crowd behind me, and I gave it everything I had to get back up here for the podium.
As we look at the point standings after 11 rounds, it's Stewart, Hepler, Brown, and Walker. And Troy Adams talked about at the top of the show how he wanted to get on the podium. Well, he did just that.
I've been working really hard on my starts, and finally they paid off, and my confidence has been skyrocketing lately after being in the top 10 so much, and I know I can run this pace, and I was just telling myself the whole time, just these guys aren't better than you. You're just as fast as they are. So I really put it my head down and charged as hard as I could.
Well, it's the end of an era. James Bubba Stewart making it official next week at Glen Helen. He rides a 4-stroke.